The benefit of getting to do this is I get to show off my family. So, as Robin was saying earlier, I have a lot of little children. So, in this season of life, it's very, very, very easy for me to become ungrateful and have an ungrateful heart. This then directs my attitude as a mother and as a wife. So I have to constantly be praying for my heart. Every December, I start praying to the Lord and asking Him for someone or something to pray for the following year. Every single day I pray for that person or the thing that He has laid on my heart. So today I want to share with you what He gave me for 2023. Just click it. So Lord, remind me. So every single day I wake up, say, Lord, remind me. Along with my other prayers, but this is the one I say every single day. So today I want to share with you in just 4 short months what the Lord has reminded me. I'll start with my husband. And I know a lot of us can relate to husbands. I've had a thought process that I do everything in our household. If it doesn't get done, it's because I didn't do it. The laundry, the things, all the things. And I become ungrateful towards my husband because he doesn't do anything. Anyone else can relate to that? So recently my husband went on a trip. He only was gone 2 nights, 3 days. And the Lord quickly reminded me how much he does. He does bath time, and that is huge for me because then I have at least 1 hour where I don't have to do anything. He bathes all 4 kids. He slowly gets them out and they come to me, but I at least have 30 to 40 minutes by myself. When he was gone, that did not happen. And then recently, we were at an Easter egg hunt and we were in a group of people, and somebody was joking about how many kids we had, and he was talking about how we play a zone defense instead of man-to-man, like in basketball. And I genuinely was trying to be funny, and I made a joke back that said that we don't even have zone, it's just me on an island by myself. Everyone, of course, laughed, and I didn't think much of it. When I went to bed that night, I couldn't sleep. I felt like I had probably hurt his feelings because he does so much, and conviction set in because the Lord had just reminded me how much he did, and how could I make a joke like that? So I decided when I got up that morning, I was going to message the people that were in the group and apologize to them. Lord convicted me again. It didn't matter what they thought, it mattered what he thought. It mattered that if his heart was hurt by the words that I had said. So I had to apologize to my husband, and he accepted it gracefully, of course. So then I'll move on to Jade. Oh, there's my kids. Oh, Houston. Where did this go? Well, there's a page that didn't print. That's okay. So Houston is 4. He's our oldest, and he is a very emotional child. His emotions are all over the place. He has a hard time controlling them. It's hard to bring him back down to a calm level, and we work on that constantly. And I say, but Lord reminds me. So he is the first one to wake up every single day. The sun usually is not up, and he will run into our room. My husband's already gone for work, and he crawls in bed and demands breakfast. He acts like we have not fed him in days, and he's starving. So I am grumpy, and sometimes I don't have the best attitude, and we don't start our day in a great way. So again, the Lord reminded me to talk to him and work through this. So every night before bed, I set out a bowl, a spoon, and his cereal. And he's old enough to get the milk, and he gets up and he goes straight to the kitchen and he feeds this desire that, you know, we haven't fed him all day or in 24 hours, I guess, or whatever. And so he eats him 1 bowl of cereal, and then he crawls into bed with me. And we get to have a very slow, beautiful morning together, just him and I. During this time, sometimes he'll fall back asleep. That's rare. Sometimes he'll snuggle, and sometimes he talks. And he talks, and he talks. And I get to hear his heart in these moments. Sometimes he jokes. He definitely makes me laugh. And almost every single morning he confesses something from the day before. I hit my sister. I feel so bad. I need to tell her sorry. He will let go of all of it, and we can do it in a calm manner without pressure. So then Jade. Miss Jade Ray. Yep, she gets her full name. She has a fire in her that is strong. I currently just contain it, but not put it out. She tests and pushes every single boundary. If you have a button that bothers you, she's gonna push it, and she's gonna push it over and over and over again. But Lord reminds me. Recently I went to the store and I was excited to do something by myself, even though it was the store. And I got in my car to leave, and I could feel God just saying, no, take her with you. I got her out of bed from her nap, which is like a big no-no in my house. We don't miss nap. I woke her up and I took her with me, and we had the best time. God reminded me how funny she is and how loving she is. We walked through the store, she hugged me and she kissed me, and she said, I love you, Mommy. And we don't get those moments of just her and I. And it was really sweet that I was reminded to give her grace, because even though she's a Spitfire, she's a sweet, sweet girl. And then there's Bo. We call Bo Shoogies, for those of you that know us. Our kids call him Shoogies because he's always been a Shoogie baby. He was born and he started smiling and he never stopped, and he loves everybody and is super sweet. But that comes with his clinginess. If you are sitting, he is in your lap. Anyone that has served in the nursery can probably attest to that. Currently, I don't have enough hands or a big enough lap to provide that constantly, so then there's frustration and crying. But Lord reminds me. About a month ago, I had to take him to Lubbock for a checkup. He got tubes, so we went back to make sure they were still in place. And I was just gonna load up all my kids and we were gonna go, and a sweet friend offered to watch our other 3, and just him and I got to go. We had a blast together. He was funny, he was loving, he was sweet. But on the way home, before we left, I wanted to sit down and eat a meal so he didn't have to eat it in the car. We stopped at Panera Bread, and if y'all have seen it, he's huge. He's a giant child, so he's very hard to carry sometimes. And I was doing the online ordering, so I set him down so I could finish the order. And I looked down at a glimpse and he's gone. So you have that moment of panic, right? Because you're in a big city. And I look over to the side and he is in some lady's arms. And he is hugging her over and over again. He'd look her in the face and then he'd hug her. He'd look her in the face and then he'd hug her. And I ran over and immediately started to apologize. I'm like, I am so sorry. She said, tears in her eyes, she said, thank you so much for this boy. I was just praying this morning for the Lord to remind me that he loves me. Oh. And that's our sweet boy. Then baby Sawyer, even though she's only 3 months, there's not a whole lot of frustration there except for sleepless nights. Sometimes I feel like I'm all on my own. I am nursing, so there's not much my husband can help me with. And again, Lord remind me. In particular, I was up at 2 a.m. and I was very, very tired. And I had laid my head back in the chair and almost fallen asleep when she made a noise, and I looked down and she gave me the biggest smile that was also her first smile that I got to experience because I was up with her at 2 a.m. So morning time. Oh. Everything is out of order. I am really sorry. Okay, so CBS is my next one. Recently, a couple lessons ago, if you guys remember at the end, it asked us how we influence people. That day in particular that I was working on that lesson, I felt like I had to repeat myself 7,000 times that morning. Get off the couch, don't jump, don't do this, don't do that. And it was just a hard day. My husband came home and he was supposed to run an errand for me that he forgot to do, and then he immediately said, you never told me. So then I go to my room because I'm upset and I start doing my lessons, which I don't recommend that. And I wrote in my book, I influence no one listens to me. And I was pretty mad. So 24 hours later, I'm walking in to CBS, and a sweet lady stopped me and asked me a question. And at first it threw me off because I don't remember talking about this. But it is something I had mentioned the week prior. She remembered, she listened, and she heard me. And it reminded me that people do listen to me. Weeks later, I spoke to the same group of ladies about needing prayer. They immediately stopped what they were doing, put their hands on me, and prayed over me. So this is the day I came back after having Sawyer. Not everyone's in there, but great group of ladies that you all know. So morning time, this is next to my bed. If you didn't catch earlier, I'm not a morning person whatsoever. I wake up when my kids wake up, and I don't want my children to grow up with these chaotic mornings or saying that my mom was always in a bad mood when she woke up, or our days always started off bad because mom was upset. So we had a worship night recently at church, and about halfway through, I felt the need to go to the altar and pray. And this was not that kind of event. Not really what we were supposed to be doing. So I fought the Lord for a couple songs and finally gave in. And I did not start a trend. It did not. It was very awkward. And I just asked him, laid it down to him and said, I want to be joyful in the mornings. Give me joy. I want joy, no matter if I got 10 hours of sleep or 10 minutes of sleep. I want your joy in the morning. The following Tuesday in core group, our sweet Betty, everyone knows Betty, shared with us that every single morning when she wakes up, the Lord gives her a song, and she has that song all day long. This inspired me. He does not give me a song, not there, but I wake up. This is the first thing I see when I open my eyes. It's next to the wall by my bed, and I play a worship song, and I don't get out of bed. Sometimes Houston's right next to me when we do it, and sometimes he's not, and this is how I wake up, and it has brought me the Lord's joy in the morning. I'm still tired, but there's just a different pace and peace in our house. So the last thing is getting in the car. I know this sounds really odd, but bear with me. Getting myself and 4 children dressed and out the door by 7:15 in the morning is very overstimulating and very defeating. I will get down the road, we have a 30-minute drive, and I am not enjoying the giggles and the laughs and the stories and the talking. I want everyone to be quiet. And that's not how that works. So I have this sign hung in my house. I cannot walk out to my car without seeing it. And it says, I can still remember the days I prayed for the things that I have now. This reminder is something that I look at every single day, even when I'm overstimulated and defeated and buckling car seats. I pray that he also answers these prayers today that he has already answered. So 1 John 5:14-15, this is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we asked for. Psalm 66:19, but God has surely listened and he has heard my prayers. Just challenge you today, ask him, talk to him. Tell him the desires of your heart. You want to be a morning person? Ask him to make you a morning person. He will just make you happy. You will still be tired, but you will be happy tired.